Sam quickly learned that the Order was made up of individuals from all walks of life, each with their own unique abilities and talents. There were scholars who studied ancient texts, warriors who trained in combat, and seers who could glimpse the future. And then there were the Guardians, those like Sam, who were born with the potential to wield the power of the Aeterna. Her training began immediately, under the watchful eye of Seraphina and a few other senior members of the Order. She was taught to harness her latent abilities, to tap into the power that flowed through her veins. At first, it was overwhelming. The magic within her was wild and untamed, like a raging river that threatened to sweep her away. But with time and practice, she began to learn how to control it, to channel it into something more focused and precise. She also trained in combat, learning how to fight with both weapons and magic. Her instructor was a man named Lucian, a stern but patient warrior who had been with the Order for many years. He taught her how to defend herself, how to anticipate her opponent's moves, and how to strike with precision and strength. It was grueling work, and more than once Sam found herself bruised and battered at the end of a training session. But she refused to give up. She was determined to prove herself, to show that she was worthy of the legacy she had inherited. As the weeks passed, Sam began to feel more at home in the hidden sanctuary of the Order. She made friends with some of the other recruits, including a girl named Alara, who had the ability to control fire, and a boy named Kieran, who could move objects with his mind. Together, they formed a close-knit group, supporting each other through the challenges of their training. But even as she grew stronger and more confident, Sam couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. There was a darkness looming on the horizon, a sense of impending danger that seemed to grow stronger with each passing day. She could see it in the way the senior members of the Order spoke in hushed tones, in the way Seraphina's expression would grow tense whenever the topic of the dark forces was mentioned. It wasn't long before she learned the truth. The dark forces. One evening, after a particularly exhausting training session, Sam was summoned to Seraphina's chamber. The room was dimly lit, with shelves lined with ancient books and artifacts that seemed to hum with power. Seraphina was waiting for her, seated behind a large wooden desk. "Sit down, Samantha," she said, gesturing to a chair opposite her. Sam did as she was told, a knot of anxiety forming in her stomach. Seraphina's expression was serious, more so than usual, and Sam knew that whatever she was about to hear would not be good. "The time has come for you to know the truth," Seraphina began, her voice calm but laced with an undercurrent of urgency. The Order of Aeterna was founded thousands of years ago in response to a great threat that arose in the world, a dark force known as the Shadow. The Shadow is not a person, but a presence, a malevolent entity that seeks to consume all light and life. It is the embodiment of darkness and chaos, and it has been our duty to keep it at bay. Sam listened intently, her heart pounding in her chest. For centuries, the Shadow has been kept in check by the combined efforts of the Order and the power of the Aeterna, Seraphina continued. But now, something has changed. The Shadow is growing stronger, and we believe it is seeking a way to break free from the bonds that have held it for so long. "How?" Sam asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Seraphina's eyes, met hers, and for the first time, Sam saw a flicker of fear in them. "We do not know. But we do know that the Shadow is not acting alone. It has followers, those who have been seduced by its promises of power and have turned against the light. These dark forces are gathering, and they are searching for something that could tip the balance in their favor." Sam's mind raced as she tried to process everything she was hearing. "What are they looking for?" Seraphina hesitated, then said, "We believe they are searching for the heart of Aeterna, a powerful artifact that has the ability to amplify the power of the Aeterna." If it falls into the wrong hands, it could be used to unleash the full force of the shadow upon the world. A chill ran down Sam's spine. And where is this heart of Aedirna? That is the question, Seraphina said gravely. The heart was hidden long ago, its location known only to a select few. But those who knew its whereabouts are long gone, and its location has been lost to time. We have been searching for it, but so far, we have found nothing. Sam felt a wave of determination wash over her. Then we need to find it before they do. Seraphina nodded. Yes. And that is why your training has been so intense. You, Samantha, are one of the few who has the potential to locate the heart. Your connection to the Aedirna is strong, and we believe that you may be able to sense its presence. Sam's eyes widened. Me? But how? I don't even know where to start. You will not be alone, Seraphina assured her. You will have the support of the Order, and you will not go into this unprepared. But the time to act is drawing near. We must be ready. Sam nodded, feeling the weight of the responsibility that had been placed on her shoulders. This was far beyond anything she had ever imagined when she first received that mysterious letter. She knew she couldn't back down now. The world was counting on her. I understand, she said firmly. I'll do whatever it takes to find the heart and stop the shadow. Seraphina gave her a small, approving smile. Good. You have the spirit of a true guardian, Samantha. Now, let us begin preparing for the journey ahead. The quest begins. The days that followed were a flurry of preparation. Sam and her friends were briefed on the mission, their roles outlined in meticulous detail. They were to leave Willowbrook and travel to the farthest reaches of the known world, following clues and ancient maps that might lead them to the heart of Aedirna. It was a journey fraught with danger, but it was one they had to undertake. Their group consisted of Sam, Alara, Kieran, and Lucian, who had been chosen to lead the expedition. They were given provisions, weapons, and magical artifacts to aid them on their quest. But most importantly, they were given a map, an ancient, fragile thing that had been pieced together from fragments found in various texts and tombs. It was their only guide to the heart's location, and they knew it would not be easy to decipher. As they set out from Willowbrook, the weight of their task hung heavy over them. The road ahead was long and uncertain, and the threat of the dark forces loomed ever closer. But Sam felt a strange sense of resolve. This was her destiny, the path she had been born to walk. And she would see it through, no matter the cost. Their journey took them across vast landscapes, through dense forests, over treacherous mountains, and across wide rivers. They encountered all manner of challenges along the way, wild creatures, treacherous weather, and mysterious traps left by those who had sought to protect the heart's location. But through it all, they persevered. Sam's training had prepared her well, and she quickly proved herself to be a capable leader, using her instincts and growing powers to guide them through the obstacles they faced. Alara's fire magic was invaluable in fending off attackers, while Kieran's telekinesis helped them navigate difficult terrain. And Lucian, ever the stoic warrior, kept them focused and disciplined. As they drew closer to their goal, the sense of urgency grew. They knew that the dark forces were also on the move, and they could feel the shadow's presence growing stronger with each passing day. The final confrontation was inevitable, and they had to be ready. The final battle. At last, after weeks of travel, they reached the place where the map had led them, a hidden valley, deep in the heart of a mountain range. The valley was shrouded in mist, and the air was thick with an oppressive energy that made it difficult to breathe. They knew they were close. At the center of the valley stood an ancient temple, its stone walls covered in moss and vines. It was here that the heart of Aedirna had been hidden, protected by powerful wards that only the true heir could break. Sam stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel the pull of the heart, a faint but unmistakable tug that guided her steps. She raised her hand, and the wards that protected the temple shimmered and dissolved, allowing her to pass. Inside the temple, the air was cool and still. The walls were covered in intricate carvings, depicting the history of the Aeterna and the battles they had fought against the shadow. And there, in the center of the room, resting on a pedestal of stone, was the heart. It was a small, glowing orb, pulsating with a soft, golden light. Sam could feel its power, ancient and immense, radiating through the room. This was what they had been searching for, the key to defeating the shadow. But as she reached out to take it, the air around her suddenly grew cold. A dark presence filled the room, and she knew without looking that they were not alone. The dark forces had found them. From the shadows emerged a figure clad in black armor, its face hidden behind a mask. The air crackled with dark energy as the figure stepped forward, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent. "You are too late," the figure hissed, its voice cold and devoid of emotion. "The heart belongs to the shadow now." Sam felt a surge of fear, but she forced herself to stand her ground. "No. The heart belongs to the light, and I will not let you take it." The figure laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "You are but a child, unworthy of the power you seek to claim. You will fall, just as those before you have fallen." With a roar, the figure lunged at Sam, dark energy crackling around it. But Sam was ready. She called upon the power of the Aeterna, channeling it through her body and into the heart. A brilliant light filled the room, pushing back the darkness and forcing the figure to retreat. But the battle was far from over. Alara and Kieran sprang into action, using their abilities to fight off the dark forces that had entered the temple. Lucian engaged the figure in black armor, his sword clashing against the dark energy with a resounding clang. The room was filled with the sounds of battle, the air thick with the clash of light and darkness. Sam focused all her energy on the heart, willing it to respond to her call. She could feel the darkness trying to consume it, but she pushed back with all her might. The light within the heart grew brighter, stronger, until it was a blinding beacon that filled the entire temple. And then, with a final, desperate push, Sam unleashed the full power of the Aeterna. A wave of light surged from the heart, sweeping through the temple and out into the valley beyond. The dark forces screamed as they were engulfed by the light, their forms disintegrating into nothingness. The figure in black armor let out a howl of rage before it too was consumed by the light, vanishing without a trace. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the battle was over. The light faded, leaving the temple in a state of quiet calm. Sam stood in the center of the room, the heart of Aeterna still glowing softly in her hands. She was exhausted, but a sense of peace and fulfillment filled her. They had done it. The shadow had been defeated, and the world was safe, at least for now. A new dawn in the days that followed, Sam and her friends returned to Willowbrook, where they were hailed as heroes. The Order of Aeterna celebrated their victory, but they also knew that their work was far from over. The forces of darkness would always be a threat, and the Order would need to remain vigilant. Sam, now fully accepted as a guardian, took her place among the ranks of the Order. She continued her training, honing her abilities and learning more about the ancient secrets of the Aeterna. She knew that the challenges ahead would be great, but she was ready to face them, with her friends and allies by her side. As she stood on the balcony of the Willowbrook Library, looking out at the town below, Sam felt a deep sense of purpose. She had found her place in the world, a place where she could make a difference, where she could be a part of something greater than herself. And she knew, without a doubt, that this was only the beginning. The sun rose over Willowbrook, casting a golden light across the town. A new day had dawned, and with it, a new chapter in the story of the Order of Aeterna. And Sam was ready for whatever came next.